Good afternoon, Queens. Welcome to the Purple Passions News Break Live. You guys know who I am, Mr. Purple Passions. Ulysses Clark, and I am here to give you that news break. A few days out from Christmas, and about a week and some days out from the New Year's. Okay, so if you are coming and join this live show, because we are going to talk about a few things. Nothing too serious, but provide you with some updates, and I'm going to keep you guys informed and squared away. You guys know one of our things for doing this is to keep the cohesion going between us as a unit, as a group, as a community, and plus to hear back from you guys, let you guys know what we're walking into for the New Year's, and let you guys know exactly, what our status is, okay? Things that have occurred and happened during the week, okay? So welcome to the Purple Passions News Break Live. So I appreciate everyone that comes in. If you come in here, you guys know how we start this off. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Where you guys coming in from? What state? Where you representing? Where you from? Let me know where you coming in from. I am here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Florida is home. So right now we got some cold weather. Not too much snow. We just passed through a storm, but we didn't get anything out of it. So we are okay right now. So we got all this ice melting. So like I said, it's cold up here. We're towards Canada. We all the way up top like Michigan, New York, Connecticut, Maine, all you guys across the top, right? We're here in the Midwest. So we are here in Milwaukee. So let me know where you're coming in from. All right?
Hello, ladies. Welcome. Hello, Miss Tanya. How you doing?
Welcome to this News Break Live, okay? We're gonna talk. We're gonna chop it up today.
Tag some
people? Yes.
Yes.
If you can, please share this once on your personal page. And also, let's get this feed popping. And I need you to share it to 10 people. 10 people that's going to come in and view, 10 sellers or whatever it is, okay? Let's get this information out, okay? Excuse me. So, I want you guys to come on in there. So, we got Dr. Joanne, Diamonds Forever. Okay. Welcome in, Dr. Joanne, Atlanta. Okay, ATL. Man, when we were coming home that time, where we was coming? We was coming in all the way from Kentucky that time, right? Mm-hmm. We came in through Atlanta and led us down to Jacksonville. And I've never seen so many streets and so much traffic in Atlanta like that. That was terrible. I think I was about 115 miles out from Jacksonville, Florida, just to go see my my mother that year. So
hello, ladies.
That was some years ago.
Ebony.
Hailing in from Washington. Okay, Washington, all the way up top in the corner up there. Yes, okay.
Hey, Miss Tishan.
What it is, Fort Lewis, Washington. My mother was stationed out there, Fort Lewis, Washington. I don't know how close you are to that. But yeah, you guys get it all up there, right? You get all four seasons. You up there by Alaska, Canada. It's super cold up there in the wintertime, right? So yeah, you guys doing all right so far? Amen. 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 I know it can get bad up there. I remember my days in South Bend, Indiana. That was bad. Right there on Lake Michigan, right there on Michigan. You just catch it all right there in that little area. So yes.
But
Miss Trisha. Yes, honey. I know you coming in from Arkansas. We gotta oh, what happened? I gotta my old sergeant major's trying to become the governor and the senator of your state. Yes, honey. My old sergeant major. When you guys hear me say it's the weekend, baby, that's where I get that from him. That's what he used to do. He used to do that and drop all of us on our faces, make us do push-ups. So, what you got, babe? I know you back there breathing. I know you got something to say. Well, what is it?
No. I want to say welcome to those who joined the news break. This is the news break before Christmas. We will have another news break before the new year, okay? So before New Year hits, before we all merging into 2026, we will have another news break. The first we want to talk about, my husband will explain about our dog, what happened. He got poisoned. So this is a family member, so we kind of wasn't in the lines how we supposed to. He was taking care of the dog. He was very bad on it, and we almost lost him. So this is what happened. Somebody, we live in here in Milwaukee, directly in the city, and there's house next to house. Basically, we have our own yard that belongs to our house. But what happened was that somebody put on a piece of meat or a piece of food, I don't know what it was, a rat poison on it, tossed it, over the yard, and he ate it. And we saw him bleeding and all kind of stuff. So we went to the vet, took care of him, and he's still not okay. He's very weak. He lost a lot of weight. He's still suffering underneath it, but he got medication, and he's doing better. So that's just the update on the dog. You want to put something to it?
Well, I think my wife, she already explained everything. She said I was going to explain, but she went in and took care of it. So, essentially, he got poisoned. We found this out. We were thinking a lot of other things. Parvo did a lot of different things, and just turns out he got poisoned, rat poison, intentional, because my yard is, when I moved, I secured my premises. I put a fence up. I have full cameras around the whole premises. So, I watch everything, I can see everything. And, just looking back, it was something that was on a piece of meat. He ate it, and then he got sick. I think what saved him was because we give him a little bit of milk every day, and the milk had probably neutralized 60% of it. Other than that, he should have been gone. But he's still weak, so I still have to carry him.
Yeah, that's what the doctor said too. So ladies, important information. If you have an animal and by poison, give milk.
Yeah.
So we didn't know that either, but our dog just drink milk, period.
If you notice your dog is foaming at the mouth or something like that, that means they came in contact and ate something that's not good. And he is, ours is Great Pyrenees and a quarter Anatolian Shepherd. I got him from out there, I want to say Sharana. When I was in Kentucky, I went about an hour away. I went out to an Amish farm, out to the Amish community out there in Kentucky. And that's where I got him from. So I've had him since he was a baby. Great dog, livestock garden, LSG dog. You don't even have to teach him anything. You just walk him around, show him what you want, watch. I've had my gate open. He don't even leave the premises, So he's a great dog and been a great family member. And he is a family member. So to see him go down like that, for him to lose half his weight and just have to carry him up the steps is awkward and different, because I didn't ever see him, in that capacity. But when they get hurt, you realize how close they are to you, and how much it does affect you and hurt you, when you see that happen.
Yeah.
And, when an animal is with you, and I tell you guys something, an animal depends on you for everything, for the love, for the care, for the food and the water. If you take the animal, set it out there, that dog doesn't know where to go and what to do. It's depending on you. It needs somebody to take care of it. So I just tell you guys that, because you got people that just put dogs on the side of the road, they just throw them out and stuff, and they die because they don't have anybody to take care of them, because they're depending on you. They need you. So, he's a trooper. He doesn't complain. We moved him around. He was bleeding. It was bad. And it was times we thought we were going to lose him, but he's just, he's resilient. He's strong, he's tough, and he's hanging in there. So I appreciate all the prayers. Like I said, for me, it was different just watching that whole situation, and then just to know that somebody intentionally did that.
Now you try to figure out. I think the thing is with us is we was trying to figure out why, why
you would do that.
Yeah, why you would do this, and then we was talking to our other elderly neighbor, and he actually, well, this is crazy, because he told me that because we close to the Christmas time and people start breaking into houses, right? And we had in our street all the way down there, basically, 2 houses got hit during the nighttime. The people breaking into houses. So, and we think that this happened with our dog is because maybe they wanted to eliminate him, by getting him out of the way, because he's protecting always the house, and then get access into the house. It is, you have to think about everything.
He watches everything. If he stands on his hind legs, I think he's about 6'2". So he's big. He's big. He stands on a fence and half his body is above the fence. So he's a very big boy, and during this time of year, they like to try to get into your house. And in moving here, I knew that, we had a dog for that reason. And, people want to get into your house, so they want to try to eliminate anything that's, possible that's going to interrupt them getting to whatever they feel like they're going to get to. Yeah. So, You know, like I said, I just don't know how you could even feel comfortable doing that. But I guess people don't have any conscience, you know, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't, you know. But you know, it is what it is. You know, we got to it, and like my wife said, milk. You know, I give him milk every day. All right, so that milk neutralized 60% of it, so he was able to make it. Had he not had that milk, and we hadn't have been in that routine, he wouldn't have made it.
Well,
so just always remember
he only
that.
has milk because he drinks we have a little cat, so he drinks the cat milk.
Yeah.
That's the only way why he had access to milk.
Yeah, he has access to milk because he cuffs the cat's milk, right? So like he cuffs it. So
yep.
So yeah, we got a Russian blue bobcat, you know, and super soft, you know. They're buddies, you know. They're probably like a week apart in birthdays, right? So and he always cuffs his milk, so he'll drink a little bit and he cuffs the rest of it. So, and this is every day. They've had this routine since they were babies, right?
Yeah.
So
first the cat.
Yeah.
Then
and he's standing in line. Then he looking at him like, you done? Like, all right. He moves him out the way. He puts the bowl to him. Then he takes the rest of it, right? So they share, right? So that's just how they are, both of them. But
yeah.
You know,
so now back to business.
So, but thank you so much, and he will gain his strength. You know, he's eating a little bit every day. He's trying. You know, so once I know that, you know, he's always smart. My wife was always cooking something, so he's starting to migrate his way now back to the kitchen. My wife cooks. This is the biggest thing. He's always behind her. So when I see he's starting to do that now, so I know that he's improving when he's doing this. But when he's sitting away, when he doesn't want to be bothered, he's putting himself and isolating himself, then I know that he's not well. So he's starting to do that a little bit. But thank you guys for everything. You know, how you doing, Ms. Jennison? Thank you to all you guys that gave me the consult. I got a lot of consult from you guys. I tell you what, and I want to speak on that too. In the thrifting community, Queens, right? I want you guys to understand that you never know who you're talking to, what their background is, what they may or may not know. Some, you know, I mean, when this situation happened, I got consults from people I didn't even know knew different things, right? And the Popeyes, he's making it one day at a time, you know, and like Miss Janice gave us some good counsel and good advice, you know, on animals, you know, through her family. So, you know, like I said, you never know who you're gonna know. I had a friend of mine that he's the only one that's got the keys to my house, so he comes in and his family's the only person I'm close to, and he came over that same day and he was in there saying, hey, do this, do that, you know. And so he was here assisting with it too, and it was good because when Popeye saw him, he got up and walked over to him, you know, dragged himself basically because they know each other. So you know, it was good for that, but you never know who you're going to meet, who has information. Sometimes we think it's just about thrifting, right? And we think it's just about, oh, I got to pay my invoice. I don't pay my invoice, I'm going to get blocked. And we're going to talk about that too, right? And we think it's just about that, but you never know what information somebody knows or what life experience they have or what situations they've been through, okay? So sometimes it's good to reach out and talk and communicate. And that's why we have these news breaks. That's why we have this community set up like this, because we need to talk. We need to talk more. And we're going to talk about some of that communication too.
Which leads me to, you never know who you're talking to, right? So that leads me to my next point. And the next point is...
It's not her point, it's my point.
It's his point. So the next point is, though, I had a situation this week, and I'm gonna talk about this because I just don't understand. So what I'm trying to explain here is this: I had a situation this week. A seller was on, and a seller messaged me, and she said, "This person shopped with me. I'm not gonna name any names of whoever, right? So this person shopped with me. She's a shopper. She's not a seller." And I said, "Okay." And she was like, and this person is definitely a ghoster because she's blocked on this platform, on this platform, and on this platform, and on this platform. I said, that's interesting. And she said, you should also block her so she will not ghost any people, right? So I said, the crazy thing about this is I know this person because this person been shopping with a lot of our sellers on Purple Passions Boutique, right? Now, is she always on time? And like, let's say your invoice paid at 8 o'clock in the morning and you was on in the afternoon. No, she won't. She won't be on time. I can tell you this because that far and that long, we know her already.
How you doing, Miss Tracy?
But if you give her 2-3 days, she will pay your invoice, right? So, so on that note, I said, no, I will not block her because she would pay her invoice. And she said, no, you need to block her because she shopped with me. And this person told me she would definitely not pay her invoice. And I said, I will reach out and make sure that you get your invoice paid and you can be comfortable on that note, okay? I said, I will not block her. I don't care if you make a headstand because of this. If this person is paying, this person is paying. And again, and I'm gonna speak this out, I do not care where other people are blocked. They can be blocked with the Pope. I don't care. If she pays her invoice on Purple Passions and I don't have no reports that she owes somebody money, then I will not block her. That's just period how it is. So I reached out to the person. I said, hey, please pay your invoice because this person has concerns, that you are not paying invoices. So please pay your invoice. And she said, don't worry, I'm paying my invoice. And she went and paid her invoice. Okay? So when I tell you that I know people and I know our people, sometimes it is just a little bit. If we have shoppers on and they shop with multiple sellers, right? Now think about this. Think about yourself. You have only that certain amount available every month, right? You need to pay your bills. You need to pay your water bill. You need to, go shopping. You still want, to buy clothes. You have the auto insurance. You have homeowner insurance. You have all kind of insurances, right? Cell phone bills, etc. So you have then an amount left that you say, okay, I can use this to buy me some clothes. I can use this in the thrifting community, or I can use this to put it to the side and don't shop at all. It's up to you. But when we have those shoppers and they're shopping, let's say, with 5-6 of our sellers, they need to pay invoices, right? And we all come in the situation that we say, hey, I don't have it today, but I have it tomorrow, or I have it in 2 days. And if that is not good enough for you, and you're still going to block her because of this, then you're going to block your blessings, honestly. Because I put this out. One shopper shops with you for $1,250 around this for a whole year. If she shops for a certain amount only, okay? This is your year money that you can get in if you give the person just a little time. If you block the person, then this is what you block your blessings.
Okay. Now
you can be blocked for more reasons than non-payment also.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We're going to get to that, Trish. So I'm going to tell you, Mr. Clark's the professional on this, all right? And I want you guys to listen up. I want you guys to tune in because I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you guys some points. I'm going to give you some examples. And hopefully this puts your mind where it needs to be, okay? First off, I'm going to give you a statistic that nobody knows that my wife just gave up, right? And anybody that's trained with me, anybody that's been a part of my admin team, when I've sat down, which I've told you this, okay? One, if you guys know anything about thrifting, right, and you're a seller, I want you to understand that each seller that you have actually is worth $1,200 for a full year. 365 days, 52 weeks. That is the statistic. They shop for about $1,200 a year, each one person that you have, right? So I want you to keep that in your mind. Now, I want you to put this in your mind. Now, if you owe somebody some money, if you owe your cell phone bill, if you owe your car payment, do they block you? Do they just start cutting off stuff? Yeah, your water company and your electric company don't even start cutting stuff off, right? But yet over $5, $10, $15, $20, you go in there and you block somebody, you put them on a list, then you start talking trash with everybody else on Facebook who's only your friend at that moment because of a blocking list, and that's the only thing you got in common. Then you hit my inbox. But by the time you hit my inbox, the other person's like, they blocked me, I got the money now. Now I can understand if that person didn't reach out, But when I hear that, I don't feel like running nobody down or chasing nobody down for money and they block them. For me, that's crazy because any institution or any agency, they do the same thing if you're late. They're patient, they wait, they give you a deadline, they're open for communication. And what am I saying? You can do what you want to do. But remember, that one person is worth $1,200 if you can keep their interest for the year, $1,200. Now, if you look at how many customers, how many clients, if you want to do those numbers, I can do those numbers for me and what I have going on for my business. But sit down and do those numbers. I want you to sit down and take that number, 1,200, by how many clients, and you know your clients better, and start doing your numbers the correct way. Get in there, man, and start doing your numbers. Then you're going to see a whole different thing. And maybe that might change your mind to what's going on. The problem is that when we can't have our way, when we can get something when we need it, we say, okay, I'm blocking, right? Then therefore you block your blessings, okay? So, and sometimes people forget they have an invoice coming in and they have wait a week or more. And that's right too. So on that next point is that the communication needs to be there too, okay? I always say that when you reach out to me, don't reach out to me after you have 3 reminders set on your invoice, right? That person didn't pay you within 24 hours, and that's not even matching whatever your invoice protocol is for whatever app you're using. And then you say this person didn't pay. This person's just receiving an invoice, and half of the time or later than the time they're supposed to have, then you complain to me, and you've only reached out one time about this person is a non-payer. That's not a non-payer. It's not a ghoster. You guys, I put this information on a ghoster and a non-payer is 2 different things. Okay? So what I'm saying is that when you get out that invoice, and I give it to everybody again, I don't care if you want them paid in 6 hours, 8 hours, or 12 hours, all right? The business ethics way is that when you send out that invoice, they get 24 hours from the time you hit that enter button or that send button all the way until that point, 24 hours. That's the business ethics. If you put it within that protocol, yes, you can change it. That's the way you run your business, and sellers need to be aware of that, okay? But I'm talking about in lieu of that, before you contact me, I want to at least see that you've reached out, you've had some communication, at least a couple acts of communication on both sides. And then I want you to say, this person doesn't want to coincide with what I need, because there's a difference in a person saying, okay, I gave them 48 hours. I reached out. They said they weren't going to have it. I canceled the invoice. That's fine, because that's something that you elected to do. You didn't want to wait. You said, I can't wait for my money. Okay, fine. You canceled the invoice. You're moving on. Fine. That's fine. Okay. But don't contact me when you haven't sent the invoice for a week, because you're working 5 days a week, and the only time you do a live show on Sunday and you send the invoice that Saturday, and then you're mad 24 to 48 hours later that they didn't pay you, and you didn't send the invoice for 5-6 days.
So
don't come in my inbox like that, because it's wrong.
So to speak up on this a little bit, we did have a situation about that where a seller went live. The seller didn't invoice right away. You know how me and my husband, we does this. Let's say I would go live today. Mm-hmm. If I have the time, I would go and invoice at the same day. If I don't have the time, I mostly invoice the next day. Okay, and this is the maximum when you would receive an invoice is the next day from me. So then of course we have to wait until you pay your invoice in order to ship out, right? Mm-hmm. Which is also between 3 or 4 days after the live that I'm already shipping out. Now with shipping out, I'm also going to tell you, you always will get in your emails a tracking number automatically sent from the system. Okay, so it will say Perfect Patterns Boutique.
If you have the system integrated with Pirate Ship.
With Pirate Ship, yes, you got to have a system integrated with Pirate Ship, and you will get automatically a email saying, this is Per Patterns Boutique shipping out package. This is your tracking number, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is only on a side note. You will always have a tracking number. So back to that seller. So that seller didn't invoice for almost a whole week. Then she decided to invoice after a week. And 2 days later, she started harassing people for not paying their invoices. Mm-hmm. Now, it was already a week that you went live. Okay. It was 1 week that you went live. There was not in between a live on Perfect Passion Boutique with nobody, or on your own page. Right. And then you start harassing people and saying that you're blocking them if they're not paying, and this one is not paying. And I get a whole list of people from you telling me that this didn't pay, this one didn't pay, this one didn't pay, and this one didn't pay. So I'm saying, okay, so when I'm reaching out to those customers who shop with you, basically, to the clients, right? To the shoppers. I'm reaching out, and they said they didn't even receive the invoice. They'd be waiting the whole time. This is a mail pickup. Yeah. They'd be waiting the whole time, and nothing came.
So just to pick up what my wife is saying, because that's our mail pickup right now. The situation just led into this person shipped. They sent the invoices late. People were waiting 2 to 3 days, so they thought they didn't either have items, or they thought that they weren't going to get an invoice, and maybe they gave it to somebody else. So the whole list my wife got that we had to check was just invalid, right? And it all boiled down to communication. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you how to run your business. You can do what you want. But what I don't like is this whole blocking thing. Blocking is unethical anyway, right? Now, if you're having a bad situation with a person, there are reasons to block, right? But what I'm saying is that everybody wants you to block because they're saying this person is a non-payer, right? Now, I always tell you on Purple Passions, how do we do things? Because I can tell you, as much as the sellers talk about shoppers, I've heard things about sellers too, right? But what does Mr. Clark say? I say, I don't care about what you did over here, over there, north, south, east, and west. I care about what you do here in Purple Passions Boutique. If that is your option, that is your chance. If you break my policies, if you're not following the protocols, you're not following what's going on, then you don't need to be here. There's no home for you to be here. And that's fair and square and understood. And then I give people 3 chances, and people don't like that either. Oh, well, that's how I conduct business, because everybody in life deserves a second chance. None of us will be here without that second chance. You know, and I take you back to when your mother was carrying you. If she decided at that time she wasn't going to carry you, guess what? You wouldn't be here. So even on that note, you were given a second chance from the very beginning before you came onto this plane. So what am I saying? I'm saying that this whole blocking thing has gotten out of sorts. There's a reason, there's a way to do it, and there's a reason why you shouldn't do it. But just because Susan doesn't like Sarah doesn't mean that that Ulysses is going to block that person. Okay, I care about the job that you do for Purple Passions now, and some of these people they've paid, and they've been payers because they've been given a little extra time in order to make things happen. Trust me, most of the people that are on my platform that shop, they're going to pay. It may take them a little time, but they're going to pay. And I always tell sellers that, hey, if you are about $1, if you're about getting your money, then you wait, you communicate, and then you stay in that trench to get paid, because that's what any institution is going to do. That's what any insurance entity is going to do. That's what any car agency is going to do. That's what any cell phone company is going to do. They're going to stay in there until they get paid. Okay. And it takes them a long time before they write you off. So we got to be a little bit more patient, because if that one client is worth $1,200, you're blocking your blessings. You're blocking your blessings over $20 for the rest of the year.
Hey, Latoya. So you didn't miss a lot. We was talking about blocking people and people, you know.
You didn't miss anything.
Blocking everybody. We was talking about Popeye only so far. But so also with the blocking, I want to add something to that. Don't come to me and tell me, let's say Nicole, Lisa, Jenny, and Sarah would like to shop on your platform, but because you didn't block this and this and this and this person, we're not going to shop on your platform. Okay, don't shop with me, because if that person really is not a ghoster and pays the invoice, if you don't shop on my platform, then you don't shop on my platform. I'm sorry, but I will not block the person just because somebody else has it blocked. I'm not doing it.
And I want you guys to look at it this way too, right? I told you, the platform has a job. That's why you're on the platform. It's not just for you to go live and we can build this algorithm. That's essentially a part of it, right? But guess what? Your job is to sell your items so you get paid. And my job is to make sure that whatever you sell, and if somebody claims to help you get paid too, that's part of my job too, right? So that means that you have a team. And I want you guys to understand, when you're in Purple Passions, you have a team, you have a unit. You have your company and yourself, and if you have an admin with you, you have that in your team, and then you got us in our team. Okay, I see you, Toy. I'm gonna touch that. I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later. So this is going to be you have 2 teams, right? And we're working together. Okay, we're working together to get you paid, right? We're also working together to make sure shoppers get their items too, right? Which leads into shipping, which is going to be something else that we talk about again. But I'm just letting everybody know that. Okay. But you know, I don't feel like it's, you know, I don't even feel like it's ethical for you to say, because this person did that to me, then boom. You know, one thing I learned growing up is that just because somebody don't like me, don't mean that they don't like, you know, one of my friends or somebody else or another family member. And guess what? No matter how tough and how real and how you think you are, somebody else that thinks just the opposite of you. So what does that mean? There's always going to be people that don't like you, all right? You have to be essentially comfortable with yourself, comfortable with your business. You have to make the right business decisions, and you have to do what's best for your business. But I can tell you, if you follow what Mr. Clark is telling you, I'm telling you, you're going to see your pockets grow. You're going to see your business be more successful, and you're going to start to understand things outside of the context of what that situation really is. Because I'm telling you, patience is a virtue. If you can master that patience, if you can, because your job as a seller is to track people down when they don't pay you. That is part of your job. I don't know why everybody thinks it's not their job. Now, if you're too tired or you don't want to do it, that's something different. That's part of your job.
Right.
That's what agencies do, right? And that means that if you're not willing to go find your dollar, then you're not willing to be business oriented. That's what I always say.
My thing is this. Trust is a big point. And trust is a big point. Why? Because I wouldn't shop with a person that I don't feel like I can trust. You know, when I say, okay, this is a seller right here, and I hear already from 100 other people that there might be issues, you know, coming back to me on my platform, then I will more likely not shop with that person, right? So, Purple Passions Boutique is, the way how we run is do it right and only right. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is not a little bit. There is not maybe. There is not 25. There is not 30%. If you are not right, and standing on business the way how you're supposed to, then there is no other way for this. And I always tell this to sellers too. They be like, well, I was just thinking and I was just trying. This is just trying is not enough. Either you do it the right way or no way. There's no other ways in between. And that gives you basically the trust what the shoppers want to see in you. Because when you, let's say you shop with me and I don't ship your item, right? And I wait for your item 2 weeks, and then I decide to ship it out, then you're not going to shop with me the next time. You still received your item, but very late, right? So you won't shop with me. You'll be like, okay, nah, that took so long. I'm not going to do this. But if you shop with me and I ship your item out, and everything is to the standards, you know, how you saw it, how you wanted it, and in a fast, you know, time manner, then you go shop with me again. That's how it is. And if I give you some extra gifts and whatever, then you even like it more. And this is with us too. If I go in a boutique somewhere or in a mall and they put some extra soaps in my in my
Bath and Body
shopping
Works
bag,
used to do it all the time.
Then I'm coming home and I'll be like, oh my God, they gave me some gifts. Yeah, I'm happy too. You know, everybody's happy to receive something. So, yeah, but this is the thing.
Yeah. So, you know, just that, you know, nobody missed too much. All right. You're not too late, Miss Holloman. I think my admin was saying that Miss Coleman, she says that if you reach out to her, give her 24 hours. And remember what I told you guys last show. Remember, business is 8 to 5, all right? Close of business or COB is at 5, okay? You can still reach out after that. Your time is going to be a little bit longer. I think that everybody within my team is pretty fast with getting you answers, okay? But it's not going to be based on your time demand or your time stamp because we got a lot of other stuff going on. But we will get you at our earliest convenience, and we try to get to you fast. All right.
With this, what Latoya said is this. So I'm gonna explain this real quick. What Latoya means. Latoya means is she is responsible for the calendar only. Okay, I'm not doing the calendar. Neither is my husband. Latoya is. Latoya managed times with the calendar. She managed certain payments, how they goes. Which is a lot. Which is a lot. So she's doing a lot. She's doing the lineup. She's doing a lot of things, you know. So we are thankful for that. So if you have any bookings that you need to discuss with her, you need to discuss with Latoya. Because if you reach out to me and you say, hey, I didn't get a response from Latoya, blah, 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 but I have this and this issue, I will not be able to help you because the calendar belongs only to Latoya. She's managing that.
Even if we can give you an answer or we can talk about booking, that booking is still going to happen and go through our admin expert, Miss Coleman. So give her time to respond so that she can get back to whatever need that you have. Okay, and I promise you she will.
She has a lot going on. She, as you know, she also goes live. Holmes. She also goes live with Tutu's Blessings. She goes live on her own. She has packages to pack. She has invoices to do. You know, I'm probably more because she has a family life too besides that. So if she's not responding to you within the next 15 minutes, wait an hour or two, she will respond eventually, you know. So, and this is, and you know what, and I tell you something, if I send a message to any platform owner, I don't even get a response. I get a response sometimes 3 days later.
Yeah, normally you just can't reach out to a platform owner, but you guys get that availability here to do that, so that's what she's saying with that comment in the chat. I want you guys to understand that, we're not going to block, because you say so and what you've heard and what you've seen. If we can't get it done and get it done the right way, then we will go to our alternative measures. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't block and there's not a reason to block, but blocking should be ethical. You should do it within the right business sense. Okay.
Yeah. Also
understand each client is worth $1,200. If you block that stuff, you block your blessings. I'm telling you to be a little bit patient, because there are going to be people that need a little bit of time to pay. Okay. And I'm telling you, it's, it never fails. A lot of people that reach out to me are telling me their whole medical history and why the situation happened. And I'm like, wow, okay, let me try to work something out. Now, right, they could be lying and everybody's got something going on, right? And yes, stuff going on, and they know their date and time. And I always say, it's just like your cell phone bill. If you at T-Mobile and you don't pay, they're going to be like, hey, when you going to pay? They're not going to say, oh, I'm cutting your phone off immediately. Now, back in the day, that might have happened if you had Sprint, Nextel, and all of them, Verizon, right? They were cutting everything off. I don't know if you guys remember them rollover minutes with Singular and all that, right? So now you're in a different time where people are kind of a little bit more patient. They're trying to work things out. They're even setting up payment plans. That's why we have the layaway plan, because I know that it's times that those people probably want to shop more and they're on that limited budget, but they can build up that credit up to here, and then they can make those payments and it's going to be feasible. That's why we do it. Okay. Everybody runs into conditions and hard times. We're here to make sure that people get items. We're here to allow them to shop. That's what your business is there for. Your business is there for people to come to your store to shop. Okay. Right. So,
which leads me also again to the next point. Send your flyers. Send your flyers, because I have a lot of people that booked for today. So wait,
hold up, because if I don't say this now, I'm gonna lose. Okay. I'm sorry. Now, this leads me to payments, right? And afterpay, okay? Now, listen. I already told you guys that 6% surcharge is wrong anyway, right? And I already posted that information. Why it's wrong? Can you do it? Do what you want to do. It's your business. But it's wrong, okay? But the point is, and this is something that I discussed with my people on my team, and I told them that essentially, right, what Mr. Clark does, if I say that I open up my afterpay after you spend $40, then a person doesn't have to call me. They don't have to send our team a message and say, hey, I need Afterpay, because automatically, if that's when I'm opening it up, when I see it there at that dollar amount, I already open it up. So that way it keeps down the traffic, it keeps down the message, it keeps down the tension, and it keeps down the communication over something simple, okay? So what am I telling? I'm telling the sellers. I'm telling sellers that if you open it up at 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever it is, all right? Already give them that option if you're messing with scared. Check that block and let them move forward, okay? Give them more options to pay you, because when you're mad that a person didn't pay you, and then I contact the person and say, well, I need Afterpay. I told them to give me Afterpay, and you didn't get them Afterpay, and that's the only reason why you didn't get paid. I'm looking like, that's a simple situation that could have been mitigated at such a lower level, and it doesn't make sense to me, you know.
And also, you need to let everybody know when you as a seller, right, whether you offer Afterpay, right, or whatever and you what offer, that amount is. So they will be able to know if they want to shop with you or not. Because if you say I offer Afterpay, I offer this, I offer this. And then the people shop with you and then they don't get Afterpay. Mm-hmm. This is the problem that ends up in my inbox saying, I will not pay my invoice because she didn't give me Afterpay like she promised. So then I reach out to you as a seller, and I'll be like, hey, didn't you say you have Afterpay? Yes, I did say I have Afterpay. So this is why she couldn't pay your invoice. Oh, well, can you please offer Afterpay so you can get paid? But that person already had you marked as a ghoster and all kind of stuff. But you did not put that. You did not offer Afterpay how it's supposed to be. You know. So if you offer Afterpay, say it. Say it on the live before people shop so they understand. Read the comments. If people ask you in the live, they'll be like, hey, do you offer Afterpay? And I see Trisha is always asking this, because Trisha is a person that likes to pay with Afterpay. So she will ask you, do you offer Afterpay? sometimes you guys don't even read the comments, but she has to ask this like a 10 times plus. Do you have Afterpay? Do you have Afterpay? And then when the live is over, she'll be like, oh my God, I didn't even see your comment. Yeah, because you don't read the comments. You have to read your comments because people would like to know if you have Afterpay or not, if you don't say it on your own.
And I speak facts to you real quick, right? Believe it or not, that you got shoppers that only use Afterpay so they can build up that credit line. They can pay any other way, but they want to pay with Afterpay so they can build up this whole credit line on Afterpay, okay? So you got people that just do that. In this situation we're referring to happened to one of my day oneers, and my day oneer right here, Spence. And that day one said just because they didn't hold their word and give them the Afterpay, this is the first and last time shopping with them, you know. And I put one of my good people over there, you know, with this person, you know, just to help them out. And meaning too, I want everybody to understand. I'm gonna go into sharing and tagging. Okay, a lot of my sellers are coming on there, and you're not sharing and tagging. If you don't know how to share and tag, get with us. We'll let you know. You need to share your live on your page, okay? And then you need to tag 10 people. Tag 10 people that you know are going to shop. Don't just tag 10 sellers and you know these sellers is not coming in there to shop. Tag 10 people that you know you're going to shop. Don't tag 3, don't tag 5, tag 10 people. And that is what everybody's responsibility. And everybody has 10 shoppers, okay? Right. And it's everybody's responsibility from our side to your side. But if you're a seller, you're not doing this, then you finish your live, you're like, I didn't have a good live because, and in my mind, I'm like, I know she's not going to say her sales weren't good. And in my mind, I'm like, nobody watches the news break. Nobody reads none of the stuff because you tagged exactly 0 people. And then you told me you didn't have a good live. I don't know what anybody expected. Okay. So, I called PayPal last week to have Afterpay added, and they told me they are no longer offering on business accounts. Sounds crazy to me. I haven't called them back anymore. See, I don't know about PayPal ever having Afterpay. Afterpay is a Square thing. As far as I know, over the last year or two. What I do know is that PayPal has a pay in for, but that has to be set up between by either the client with PayPal or with the seller or whatever it is, okay? But I think the option has to be allowed through the seller, and then that client must do it through PayPal. So if you're going through PayPal, you it's not going to have Afterpay. That's going to be a Square thing, okay?
Right.
So
So I also wanna let everybody know that Purple Passions Boutique is offering, like Latoya already said, free lives until the end of the year. Okay, free lives, so you can go ahead. The link is posted. Go to the link, and post, and book your lives. Okay, book your lives is all free. It's a blessing that we want to give back to you sellers. You know, free lives on us. We will have in January changes coming. That I will announce in the next news break close to the new year.
So let me backdraft. I see you, Shakira. I see you, Ms. Cole. Let me backdraft to one point that Trisha made. She said she's been blocked for just asking a question. Okay, that is considered seller ghosting. I put that post out too about a month and a half ago. That is considered seller ghosting. If you are not answering questions of clients, whether it's during your live, after your live, or some type of, or through Messenger, and they give you that question, that's considered seller ghosting. You lose credibility. You lose your trustworthiness with clients. This business is one of the biggest thing that you have in here is trust and trust erosion. Okay. So if you guys don't know what that is, I can brief you guys on that at another time, all right? Trust is big. Someone asks you a question, answer the question. Find time, take a mental break, go back over your questions, answer the question, okay? Now, moving forward, Miss Shaquille says, hey, y'all, also, if you do load shopping, there's no automatic invoice with that option. I pay $24.99 and have to manually invoice to get the Afterpay option for customers. Okay, this is very true. Also, I wanted to tell you, Lower Shops has changed. If you go click on the help button, you're going to get all types of different programs and different things. They're even on IG now. So I want you guys to go and look at all those options because it's not just $24.99. They had like 3 programs back then. They've got way more programs as far as what he's offering over there. But you got to read, and it's a lot to read, okay? So go check that out. And yes, Afterpay, you're going to have to do outside of that context, okay? So if you offer it to them, the biggest thing is what I hear a lot of sellers say, let me know in my messenger if you want Afterpay. If you shop, then you need Afterpay. Let me know. I offer Afterpay at $50, okay? So shoppers need to pay attention to that too, because I know that gets said sometimes. So, and that would leads me to my layaway. We offer Purple Pay, the Purple Layaway program, okay? No interest, no nothing. We set you up for 60 days. You come in there and pay your 20% deposit. You pay your $5 holder fee, which you get back on the back end of it. I'm going to set you up your payment plan. I'm gonna hold your stuff until you pay for it. Then I'm going to ship it out. If you miss a payment, you lose it. That's simple. Clean, cut, and dry. 20% deposit on whatever it is. The old layaway from Kmart, okay? Except I'm not charging you a shelf fee or none of that. I'm not charging you no interest either, okay? What you decide to pay for, all right? And that's going to be you shopping for 77 plus, all right? And then we working from there, all right? So if you're interested in that, let me know. I got matter of fact, I got seven right now that are doing that, and it's working out. And I'm glad, I had my first payoff on one the other day, and I was excited to see them because they were excited, and they paid off earlier, right? So I want you guys to stay frosty on that, okay?
And also I want to say shout out to Miss Trisha Michael, because that was actually her idea with the layaway.
And I think I told you guys before, when we actually put this Purple Pay out, about 7 months ago? I think it was about 7 months ago. That was Miss Trisha Michael's idea, okay?
Yes.
So that was her idea, and we took what she thought about that idea, and we put it into a program.
She said that time, she said, hey, what is with those people that cannot use Afterpay? You know, what is with those people that would like to shop?
Right.
And they can't, utilize Afterpay and whatever pay. She said, can we not give anything to them? And then we came up with Purple Pay. But Purple Pay is nice too, but it's basically the layaway program. We just call it Purple Pay.
Right. She did that, and that was just in consideration. If any of you have ever worked with Trisha, one of the things you're gonna get from her, and I always say she's the old school, right? Mm-hmm. She's old school because she's my senior, right? So what I'm saying is that you're gonna get a thing where she's like, what about the people that can't get to pay and for, that can't do that? What about them that still want to shop? What about that population? What about those demographics? And that's how she came up with the idea. And I said, okay,
people that are on a fixed paycheck,
right? People that are really on that fixed income, right? So we were like, man, and that was hard because I messed up her idea 3 times. Just to let you know, I jacked it up before I got it to where it is now. Mm-hmm. So so that was her idea. I will not take credit for that. We just put it together, and that's just what we have there, and it's running, it's working fine. It hasn't been any problems or headaches with it at all. So, also what Miss Coleman said about the algorithm and tagging 10 people. It is important that everybody tags 10 people because it still affects the algorithm. And I talked with Miss Coleman the other day, and I let her know that you have probably 3 to 4 algorithms running at the same time during that live show, and people don't know it. Mm-hmm. So it's important when I'm saying sharing and tagging, it is important that you do that, okay? Because when that algorithm is hot, Facebook is going to reach outside of its own jurisdiction of what you're tagging and tag more on its own. That is why it's important for everybody to work together in that cohesion of tagging process, okay? So when you're not tagging as that seller, if you're not tagging as the people inside there, that's why that algorithm's there, and this is why sales drop 20 to 60%. And I put this out too. So, go back and read some of that information. If you want that information directly, let me know. I'll send you the link, okay? So we got... Yep, you guys, she said, check out Tutu's Blessing. Okay, please announce that there will be Purple Patch Boutique, Tutu's Blessing, Thrift, and Accessories. Cash coming from the admin asset real soon. Stay tuned for details. Purple Patch Boutique, Tutu's Blessing, Thrift, and Accessories. Cash coming from the admin asset real soon. Stay tuned for details. Okay. So you guys heard that coming from Miss Coleman. Okay. I'm not sure about that directly, but she's saying stay tuned. So it's like a feature presentation coming soon. All right. So you guys stay tuned, and it's going to happen. Okay. There was something I needed to hit on too. Shipping. Okay. Listen, we're shipping pretty fast. Okay. We are, and we're still shipping. You heard the doorbell. We're shipping. Okay. Sellers, make sure you're shipping. Make sure you're checking your tracking. Make sure there's a lot of pirates, not porch pirates, okay? Make sure you guys are checking your porches. You're checking that track on the opposite end. Everybody needs to be checking tracking right now. Everybody needs to do it, okay? Sellers, if you're getting out your stuff, make sure you get it out. Make sure it's getting pushed, okay? So I want to say Merry Christmas, everything. Miss Green, Popeye he's hanging in there. He's still getting picked up and moved around. He's not over the hump yet, yeah. But every day a little bit better. It says, is Facebook blocking folks for doing this? At one point they were.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but don't quote me on that, Ms. Shaquille. I want to say that we're offering free lives right now to the end of the month. Why are we doing this? Okay, and I tell you why. Because we want to walk in. We have this thing in our family, and let me say it this way. And we believe that the holidays, right? If you look at the holidays from, and even Halloween, whether you celebrate it or not, holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all this has to do with blessings, appreciation, and understanding, okay? And when you start understanding that these are times of giving, these are times of sharing that emotional state in a happiness capacity, giving gifts to children on the holidays. When you understand that capacity of that, then you're already kind of setting your resolutions already. You're setting your resolutions for blessings because you're already giving all the way up into that New Year's. You're setting that pattern, that trend, and that is seen. That is seen by God. And by God, you're going to get those blessings back, okay? But so we understand that, we believe that. So we walk out of the year into the new year, sharing, caring, and giving, okay? We want you guys to come enjoy your lives. We want you guys to put some money in your pocket. We want you guys to come smile, have a good time, spread your charisma, your aura, to the other sellers and shoppers, build you some clientele. Everything that you want to build, you have that right now, okay?
And so if you want to be a new shopper, mm-hmm. If you say, oh my God, I need to declutter my closet. I have so much items, mm-hmm. I have so much going on, and I don't know how to get rid of all this stuff, and maybe you want to buy new stuff. Mm-hmm. So you can always utilize our free picture wardrobe, whether it's in the VIP or whether it's on Purple Passions Boutique on the mm-hmm. main page. I always post every day. This is the picture wardrobe, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. So you can put, whether you're a shopper or a seller, all your items in the picture wardrobe for free. Mm-hmm. Okay? We don't charge for picture wardrobe. It's for free. You can also become a seller if you want to. You will get training. You will get bot training and seller training for $50. Okay?
That's you come to Mr. Clark's Academy. Okay? Mr. Clark's Academy, all right?
And you will
We're going to soldier up.
You will get a thoroughly real good training. Okay? This is not a 30-minute training. No. And you on your own. This is, I'm talking about 2.5, 3 hours if necessary until you have everything understood, going live, how to go live, how to connect your bot training, what you can do with your bot, etc., etc., etc. Because your bot is not only here to pick up your items, right. That you're selling. You can also email mm-hmm. with your bot. You can decoy with your bot. Yeah. You can decoy with it. You can let it run interference. You can let it police up areas and give you more time to focus on other areas of your business while it is running different parts of your business. You can put all your items into your bot.
You can put all your items into your bot. Your live assistant, is there to be your secretary, to be your friend. And once you understand the capacity of what it can and can't do, and all things it can do, then you're going to understand more, and it's going to help you run your business better too. Because like I said, it's hard when you're a one-man show, a one-man team, and a lot of you queens are. My wife has me, and I understand that, and we have each other, so that's the blessing that we have. We do this together. Stop because there. What happened?
So I'm
no, I don't say it.
Yeah, I do say it. What? I do have my husband, but why do I have my husband? Because he wants to be here. He wants to be here. Between all the clothes, between all the clothes, the jewelry, necklaces, hats, jackets, purses, he wants to be there. He loves it. He wants to snuggle it now.
I mean, like I said, I do everything with my wife. I'm telling you. You might catch me and my wife walking out the house, and when we go places, they'll be like, man, I like you guys' shoes. We got on the same pair of shoes, right? Throwback shoes, right? So I do everything with my wife. You would not see one without the other. My wife don't have girl time, friend time. I'm her friend. I'm her best friend. I'm everything, right? She don't go nowhere without me. And I fight to prove my love, too. So I'm just letting everybody know, all right? So, senior discount still available? Yes. And if not, these is considered in their business.
And you know what is crazy?
Constant buyers are seniors.
We was coming out with a senior discount, right?
Right.
So And
that senior discount is important. It's a chance for you to gain some blessings and give back.
Yeah, so we said senior discount was always on Wednesdays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know what? I completely forgot about the senior discount because nobody was really doing it, from the sellers. But Tanya and
No,
Alicia,
tell the truth. Tell the truth. I'm gonna tell you what they were doing. As soon as they had that live booked on there and they knew they had to give a discount, all of a sudden I got a cancellation. Oh man, I can't make the live. I'm sick. My leg's about to fall off. I'm like, what sickness makes your leg fall off? Are you reading this? I'm on Google trying to find out what sickness this is because I don't want to catch it. Right? So,
right. So Miss Tanya Alicia was actually live on that Wednesday.
Yep.
And she said, and you know what? It's senior discount day. I told you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, right. Mm-hmm. Because I normally never go Wednesdays live, right? But it is my responsibility, actually. And I tell you the truth, I forgot to always mention that it's Wednesday, senior discount day.
Sellers, and I recommend that you should do it, right? Because it's not going to hurt you to give them 10% off. You're not even going to see it. Write it off on your taxes. Do something with it, all right, if you need to. But it's not going to hurt you to do that. And it's good because, biggest thing that you can build in this business is not clientele, it's trust.
Yeah.
The biggest thing you can build in this business is trust, okay? And this is what I'm trying to get everybody down to the meat and potatoes, the right things. On the one way to do things is the right way. If you do it the right way, don't worry about how far you climb and how much you climb. You're going to climb because you're doing it the right way. If you do it, it's just a fact of life. If you do it right, you're going to increase. It's just no way around that, okay? Mm-hmm. So, let's do it and let's do it together. Let's help those out. Like I said, I understood a lot from the community because when with Popeye, that community came in, gave me advices, they gave me prayers, you guys gave me love and support, and I understand that community is effectively why he's doing better, why I'm seeing better, don't enter that situation, and why things happen the way that they happen. And that's all just on building, and communication. So that on Wednesdays, it's that senior discount, military discount. And everybody's like, oh, well, how do you check and stuff like that? Look, I'm not checking the ID card. Everybody's grown and they should be honest, okay? So you can tell if somebody's older, let them get that little 5-10% off, whatever it is, and keep it moving.
It's not going to hurt you.
It's not going to hurt you, okay? You guys act like you're losing $1,000 or something, right? You're not losing $1,000. But look, please don't have your lives set up and all of a sudden you cancel and told me you got sick and your leg's about to fall off because you're
only crawling on your elbows.
Yeah, you crawling on your elbows. you trying to get your elbow pads. Yeah, listen. Look. I don't. That one baffled me. Okay. So and if you don't want to go, then don't go. If that's too much for you, then fine. I understand, but you don't have to put it on family or your legs or something like that because stuff like that come back and bite you. And I want you to keep your legs if you got them, okay? So you need everything.
So let's talk now about before we
what do you want to talk about?
Before we ending the conversation and wish everybody Merry Christmas, right? So let's talk about real quick thrifted items, okay? Mm-hmm. So and the reason why I'm saying this is in the thrifting community, a lot of people looking for brand new with tags, okay? Mm-hmm. They say, well, brand new with tags, brand new with tags, brand new with tags. So that's nice, We all want brand new with tags, but also know that we have vintage items that are brand new with tags that people maybe have bought, didn't wear it, whatever, and then donated it, can't fit it no more, whatever, and they still have the tags on. Happens a lot, So
roar. Yes, honey.
So but if you show an item, right? If you are a seller and you presenting your items, please mention whether that item is new, right? Whether that item is a thrifted item or it's basically used or pre-loved or whatever,
New without tags.
New without tags. Mention that, okay? Because there is a difference in a used item and in a brand new item. Okay, there's a very big difference. So don't be here and say this is a brand new item without tags, and then the people get it and it has 3 holes in there, and the sweat from last weekend, when you went out.
Sweat from the club from last weekend with the deodorant stains in there to go with it. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then it'd be a little bit black and white, and you'd be looking, you'd be like, ew. You holding it like that.
So you know, so be honest, you know, say how it is. Now, also for the shoppers right now, if you know you shopped a thrifted item and this is a used item, you cannot expect that that item is in a brand new condition.
Right. It is
You
a
know,
thrifted item still.
it is still going to be a thrifted item.
Mhm.
Okay, that's why you get it cheaper. That's why it's cheap. That's why because if everybody would want a new item, we can go in malls, we can go in stores, you know, and just buy, you know, brand new items. But then you would have to pay for a shirt, let's say $20 or $30, and here you pay maybe just $5 for it, you know.
Mhm.
So, and with shoes, let's talk about shoes, okay? So if you buy shoes from a seller,
Mhm.
right, and you're a shopper, you buy from a seller's shoes, I want you to understand that vintage shoes
Mhm.
can have a situation that the sole, you know, is cracking.
Yes.
That because that item be maybe sitting for 10 years or 15 years in somebody's basement, right? Then you look at the shoe, you be like, oh, that shoe is perfectly fine, still
Mhm.
good. You pick it up, you bring it home, you sell it, that person put the weight into the shoe and start walking, and the whole sole is in the restaurant, you know, and you at the car and you walking on your toes, you know. You be like, oh, what happened? Then you look at the shoe, you say this shoe was still new. Why did it happen? It's because of the shoe being old, you know.
Let me caveat off that. So I'm a vintage shoe collector myself, right? Especially with tennis shoes. So I got like I said, I got a really big
My Lord,
collection,
tell
right?
me about it.
So when you
Angela.
what happens is with the shoe is that even with the heels, that glue is gonna get old, it's gonna get tired, it's gonna crack. Is what my wife is saying. So when you put on that shoe, it's gonna look all the way good and healthy, but that glue is already eroded to the inside, and if you shift to the left or right, it's going to pop, it's going to snap, and you're gonna lose that shoe.
And you make that test by
Right.
moving the shoe.
So you need to test for durability, you know, even if it's going to, and you're going to see what's going to happen. Okay. You'll see that some people are re-gluing and restructuring those shoes. We can still make it good. Okay. But if you're in that condition, you need to let them know, because you don't want it to result in an injury for nobody, first off, and you want them to get a good product and keep that trust, and don't build trust erosion. You want to build positive trust. Okay. So, and I can tell you that if you're messing with any of those old Nikes and Flights, you know, a lot of them I restore, I bring back, I re-glue, I reseal, because I understand the context of the shoe, right? But, you know, and I understand the quality of the shoe from way back in the day is way better than what it is now.
Yeah.
Everything was made a little bit bigger, a little bit more comfort. You know, when you're getting 6.5, they're actually giving you 7s. That's why they felt so comfortable, because they understood the context of a shoe, even with heels. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm speaking on the heels because I know we've gotten some pair and we did that and I'm like, okay, no good. Right. And we understand that, but you want to make sure that, you're selling shoes that they are, you know, good, and that heel is glued. Also, queens, you know, you can put your own little heels on there. So sometimes you get them, just get your little kit. You're going to pop them off and pop them on if you want to keep your heels and save some of your heels, okay? You can do that. It's very simple. Get that kit off Amazon and fix your heels back up.
Right. So, and the same, what I just explained with the shoes is happening with purses, okay?
Right.
So with the purses, what we see on purses is mostly they start flaking.
Mm-hmm.
They start flaking. Shoes also sometimes flaking.
Soft leather flakes a lot.
Yeah, it flakes.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to sell this anymore. I wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't offer this no more to nobody and be like, hey, look at this cute purse right here. And then knowing that it's already, you know, on the edge, because the person wears it twice and it start flaking, they get mad with you and you losing customers like this, you know. Yeah. Not even for $3, not even for $2. Just don't.
At those notches where it's sewn at, where it's got the rings at, where that strap is, where it's bending it and bending, when you have that soft leather, it's going to flake, right? And so when you see it flaking, I don't think that's in any condition to sell. Sometimes you got brand new shoes that have that soft leather, and just because how they package them, they already start flaking. They flake on the inside. If I've seen a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
And a hack complaints came back about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at that moment, right, when I get the picture, I'm looking at them like, that person had to have known it was flaking that bag. They sold it anyway to make that sale. Now it's a beef and this was between a seller and another seller. Both well-known sellers. And I'm like, oh my goodness!
This this happened to me last year. I bought a bag from a seller, and Guys, the bag is brand new. I'm always saying this because I was never
from that seller.
From that seller, right? And she was carrying herself so high. So I bought the bag. It was a very purplish, looking cute bag with a lot of sequin. And you guys know I love sequin, right? And
yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We know.
I got my husband a sequin hat from Miss Janetta, actually. Hey, Miss Janetta. So she had those cowboy hats. I got him one. No, I got him two. A red one and a black one.
Yeah, Miss Janetta hooked me up.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the subject. So,
yeah, so she got this purse, right? It was all purplish, right?
Oh, yeah,
and she was excited about this purse.
So.
She was bragging about it. She was telling me about it, and I'm like,
Yeah, my husband was like, yeah, whatever, let's see when it comes.
How much do it cost?
So it came, my purse came. I looked at it.
Merry Christmas, Jeffries.
I opened it up and I was like, my purse came. And I gave that the purse to my husband in his hand, and he looked at it and he was like, oh my God, what's happening here? So it had the tags on it. It was brand new, right? It's still packed and everything, but everywhere flaking. I mean, everywhere flaking. Nobody could wear this purse. And then she put a flyer into the purse saying that purchase as seen, and she would not take any returns or refunds. So basically, you're stuck with this, right? So I did not even reach out. I was just saying, well, that's part of the business, I guess, But
we didn't even want a refund. We just wanted to send it back so you can keep it. I got flakes all on my carpet. I got to vacuum my carpet too much, all right? I just want to send you back the bag so you can keep it. You could at least took back the bag.
Yes, yeah, that's sad. So I want you to understand.
Beautiful bag, though.
It happened to me, too, so I know how you guys feel if something like that happened. Like Miss Melissa just said, I know the feeling, okay? Yeah. It's not nice. Nobody's happy about this, and you definitely don't want to shop with her no more.
It's a bad feeling because I feel like that when the situation really is like,
hey, Miss Jeffrey,
when you guys are purchasing a bag of shoes, if you like me, I'm already thinking like, man, when I get this bag or when I get these shoes, I'm getting ready to go crazy. I'm getting ready to put it with this outfit. It's gonna go with this, and you already in your mind set yourself up for how you look, how you gonna rock it. You're waiting for that bag, right? You even and then when that bag comes in, you like, yeah, and then you look and you like, oh no,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Then you're like HE double hockey sticks, no. And you upset, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay,
but is it
worth it?
That's what I always say. Is it worth it? Because that is your business. That's your business name. That's your reputation. That's what you're standing on. Why would you even risk it to send something like this out to or another situation? Let me put this up. So another seller reached out to me and she said, hey Sabrina, I was shopping with this and this seller and I received my item and I think it was a purse and the purse was messed up. It was the strap was loose, okay? And it was not fixable. So I said, oh my God, that's bad, So I said, did you reach out? She said it was a bad communication. Everything went, not good from this point on. So it was more in a declining than saying, hey, we're going to fix this somehow. So she said, I was so upset with it. So I didn't even want no refund. I don't want nothing. I just never going to shop with that seller again, So that is a very, very good point here too, because when you receive something and the strap normally don't break in the,
no,
in the transport or whatever. So, and you gotta have so much, you gotta be so great of a seller. Actually, there was something like this happen, and let's say you overseeing the situation, and you say, you know what, here's a refund, next time, or here's a store credit or whatsoever. But do something. Don't.
The hardest, you gotta have a lot of integrity, and the hardest.
Paid for items and never get it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
one of the hardest.
That's bad too.
One of the hardest things to do in life is to do the right thing, is what I tell my son, right? The hardest thing in life to do is the right thing because it comes with admitting, right? And everything starts with admitting. I always say that I can't be right if you never want to be wrong, right? And so when you have to admit when that situation happens, it really depends on what type of person you are, what your character is, what kind of integrity you have, right? And I give an example. I had a queen that shot with this. The package came, and the package was damaged, and you saw it was bubble wrapped. We did everything to that package, and it just looked like someone just destroyed that package. Now was it on me? No. So we looked at it and said, look, I'm gonna get you back and get you everything. I can look for this one. I don't know if I'm gonna have this, but I can get you these. So I reordered and resent all that stuff to that seller. And I'm not tooting my own horn. This is what I did because I understood that person wanted it. They was trying to do it for the holidays. We sent it back to them. I could have did a store credit and that stuff, right? And then I told her, I want you to file the insurance, and when you get the insurance, I want you to keep that too, because every package comes with $100 insurance on it. Now, what am I saying? It has to deal with your integrity, right? Sometimes I feel like that the loss of a customer, and the customer is valued at $1,200, as we spoke of today. One customer is valued at $1,200. Is that five? And within that year, which is that 12 months, right? That's $100 a month, right? 12 months, $1,200, okay? That one client for a year, 365 days, 52 weeks, okay? Now, is that client, who's only first time spending money with you, right? Spends maybe $75. If that $5 item is that $15, $20 worth, the rest of that you're going to lose behind that customer, because that is just the statistic, all right? And you have to think bigger than that, besides our ego and what's going on, and say, hey, I can give you some store credit. I'm non-refundable, but in this case, I'm going to take care of you. You have to make a good business decision. Okay. Now, on to paying for items and never getting it. That's a travesty. That's terrible. Like, I don't even know what to say to that, because, there's a situation where a package may not arrive, right? But both parties know that. But when you pay for an item and then you don't get it at all,
ships it, that's something totally different. Yeah. But my last point.
That might be the time to block, right? Didn't I say that you should block? That might be the time to block.
But also, what I want to say is this: sellers, shoppers, whoever is here now and listen to our news break, we are moving on to the year 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you did in the whole year of 2025 and what you want to make better.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself a goal. Think about, hey, you know what? Because like I said, if you do everything right and if you bless others, blessing comes back to you. That's for sure. So if you haven't been, doing right all the time, try to do it now. Try to do right. Try to change something into your business, because also, I received my pillows, guys, and I'm in heaven. Oh yes, honey.
Yes.
So always know that nobody is perfect, and Miss Latoya always says this, right? She say, hey, nobody's perfect. That's true. We all make mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have, everybody, including us, everybody's making mistakes. But one thing we can always do, try to make it better every day, because every day we get the chance when we wake up to make our lives better, to change something on ourselves. If we mistreated somebody, to make it right again, every day we have basically that option and opportunity. So with this said, think about what I just said, because it is important. It is very, very important. And to be a business owner, it's not just that you selling items, regardless how, under what condition. It is about what you taking with you. You taking your name out there. You showing who you are. You representing. You have a business name that you stand on, and also it is about the truth in this business. It's about the truth, and it is about loyalty, and it is about how you come towards to the people.
Your character.
Okay, and my husband knows about this too. He will tell you now.
I tell you guys a couple things for you guys that are kind of new to Purple Passions Boutique. And when I say new, meaning that you guys didn't know before it became a platform, some of the things we stood on. One of those things that when I used to come in and talk with people, where I told them that, one of the things I teach my son is that every day that he walks in life, and through his life, he has angels that are walking with him, recording everything that he does. And when he gets to heaven, right? When he gets to heaven and he goes to see God, and he gets brought to account and he's held accountable, that angel provides that book, and God goes to the book and say, this is what you did when you were 7. This is what you did when you were 37. This is what you did when you were 52. And he goes down that list, and this is how you're brought to account on on what you do. And this is what I teach my son, is what I've taught my son every day since I've had him since he was 7, that how you're brought to account at the end when you go to heaven.
Adopted,
you know, and my son is adopted, right? And this is one of the things that I instilled in him from the beginning, that you're accountable for everything that you do and even the things you don't do. Okay? And I said, and how you respond, how you react, that's what gives you your character. And people let you know whether you're a trusted person, whether what your reputation is based on your character and your character traits. Why they say you have characteristics of your DNA, characteristics, because you build those every day that you step and you get up and you walk around. You know, so and my theory is what I tell people on what is a New Year's resolution. What are we doing for 2025 to 2026? I say it's your outroad. You don't start on January 1st about these are my resolutions. I'm going to work out. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do that. No, your outroad, how you lead 2025 is you're already setting that path, that momentum, walking into 2026 of what you're going to do and change. You're supposed to be thinking now. You're supposed to be thinking about the things that you're supposed to be doing now, the things that you want to change, the things that you want to build or make better, the goals that you want to accomplish that seem unreal. You start plotting and planning them now, and you start making that walk now. So when you step into 2026, you are already in that groove. You're already in that trench. You're in that rut. You're in that chute. You're in that momentum. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trust has everything to do with your character and integrity, okay? Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to lose some friends on the way, okay? Because what you lose, you get back. Right only looks a certain way, and it's the right way, okay?
And we all know in our hearts what's right or wrong.
We know what's right or wrong. That's instilled in all of us, okay? Mm-hmm. So I want you guys to understand. that. So I want you guys to remember these holidays. Holidays is never about you. It's about giving to the next person. The key to life is giving, and then you will be blessed. That's the whole key to life. Give, share, do right, walk right. You know, and when you do this, you're going to move on to that next step, and you're going to see your blessings flow. You know, right. And that's what I want to leave you guys for 2025 to 2026. You will see me again one more time, all right? But I want to give you guys the season's greetings. I want to tell you guys Merry Christmas, however you look at it, all right? You know, Christmas is for the children. Get those babies, get those grandchildren, get the neighbors' children something, okay? Make your blessings, make your way into 2026 the right way, okay? Don't hold on to it. Give it up, okay? And I want to wish you guys the best in the holiday season, the most smiles, the most joy and happiness that you can ever have, right?
Gifts, lots of good food.
Lots of gifts and good food, lots of purple passion, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I want to let you guys know, thank you for all the prayers for Popeye. For those of you that came in later, Popeye is still not over the hump, but he's doing much better.
Yes.
A lot of laying down, a lot of sleeping, a lot of trying to recover, trying to get an appetite back. You know, he's walking a few steps. He's getting carried most of the way, but he's responding. So that's all I can ask for right now. And then he's still with us, and that's a blessing within itself. And that's thanks to you guys and your prayers and those great doctors and the great advices I got from you guys, okay? So, Merry Christmas to everyone. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Take care of the people around you. Love your family. And I will see you guys again soon. Thank you for tuning in. May you all be blessed. Like I said, I love doing this. Remember, next year we're kicking it off. Some of you guys are going to be on there holding down this show too, talking, okay? And the next live too is going to be the changes for January we're going to have. And guess what? It's going to be beneficial for you in your pockets too. You're going to love it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
very big changes are coming.
Stay tuned, all right?
Stay tuned. And at 4:45.
4:45, who we got? Who we got?
Carrie Divine.
Carrie Black Butterfly Divine. Okay.
Yes, she's coming on at 4:45.
I started to say Carrie Black Butterfly Fine, and then I was like, Carrie Black Butterfly Divine, okay?
Yes, honey.
She's going to be on rocking the show, okay? So you guys come in and give her that support. Thank all of you for being here, and check out every seller after that. This is Purple Passage Boutique. This is the Newsbreak Live. I am Mr. Purple Passage Ulysses Clark, and I am gone. Mwah!
Bye.